Nagarjuna, Assistant Professor at ITICT Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Welcome to the second lecture of Unit 10. In previous lecture, we have discussed about CBSE, that is Component Based Software Engineering, and about Client-Server Software Engineering, in which we have discussed about two-tier architecture and three-tier architecture of Client-Server Software Engineering. Okay, so now in today's lecture, we will learn about what is web engineering, about computer-aided software engineering and software process improvement. So let's start with the topic, that is web engineering. So a famous software engineer, that is Murugesan, has defined web engineering as web engineering is a sound scientific engineering and management principle and discipline. Okay, so it is also a systematic and disciplined approach to the successful development, deployment and maintenance of high quality web based system and application. Okay, so he defined that if you want to develop any web application, so web engineering is useful to develop a web application. Okay, so it is a kind of scientific engineering and management principle and discipline, and it also a systematic and disciplined approach. Okay, so if you apply that particular web engineering concept to develop your web application, so a successful development, deployment and maintenance of high quality web based system and application can achieve. Okay, so web engineering is a process used to create high quality web application. Okay, so web engineering is not a perfect clone of software engineering, but it borrows many of the software engineering features and fundamentals, concepts and principles, emphasizing the same technical and management activities. Okay, so in software engineering, what we are doing, we are just following the SDLC life cycle for software development, that is requirement gathering, then designing, then implementation, testing, maintenance and so on. So the basic fundamental concept of software engineering is also in a web engineering concept. Okay, so but it is not a perfect clone of software engineering, but it borrows many of the software engineering fundamental concept and principle. Okay, so this is about the web engineering concept. Now what is the web engineering process? So the characteristics of web based application have an impact on the web engineering process. Okay, so like immediacy and continuous evolution require an iterative incremental process model that produce web app release in a rapid sequence. Okay, so if you are developing any web application and if you are using web engineering, so a nature of web engineering process is about immediacy and continuous evolution. Okay, so if one component is ready for any web application, you are delivering that particular component to the customer. Okay, so here in a rapid sequence you are releasing your web application. Okay, and the network intention nature of application in this domain suggests a population of user that is diverse and an application architecture that can be highly specialized. Okay, so because web applications are often content driven with an emphasis on aesthetic. Okay, so in a unit 5 we have discussed about various designing. Okay, that is navigation design, architectural design, aesthetic design. Okay, so web engineering is also following such kind of activity. Okay, so it is likely that parallel development activity will be scheduled within the web engineering process and involve a team of both technical as well as non-technical people. Okay, so in web engineering, both technical team and non-technical team are working parallel. Okay, in SDLC, if you have done with that particular implementation, then and then you can perform a testing. Okay, but in web engineering, it is a rapid sequence of releases. Okay, so here what will happen? So some parallel activities, means parallel development activities are taken place. Okay, so here both non-technical team as well as technical team are involved. Okay, so this is about the framework of web engineering, in which all the process is almost similar to the software engineering. Okay, means all the fundamental concepts are there. Means so you have to start with the planning, analysis, then engineering, then page generation and testing, customer evaluation and foundation. Okay, so this is the actual process. So in engineering there are multiple activities are performing like content design, then production, architecture design, navigation design and interface design. Okay, so you can see that there are two parallel activity are performing. Okay, so here on one side architecture design is done, then after you can perform navigation design, and then after you can perform interface design. Okay, but in parallel you can also perform a content design and a actual production of your system. Okay, so here if you found something, you are planning for that particular web application, then you analyze this, you are performing engineering for that particular specification, then you are constructing a web page, means you are developing, so page generation and testing activity, and then after customer evaluation. Okay, so this is the basic framework of web engineering. Okay, so a web apps involve from static to dynamic. Okay, that means static means content directed information and dynamic means user directed application environment. Okay, so as web page evolve from static to dynamic, the need to apply solid management and engineering principles grows. Okay, so to accomplish this, it is necessary to develop a web engineering framework that encompasses an effective process model. Okay, so the web engineering process begin with a formulation. Okay, so in figure you can see that there is a formulation activity. Okay, so it started from the formulation, then planning, analysis, engineering, page generation and testing, and customer evaluation. Okay, so the web engineering process begin with a formulation, that is an activity that identify the goals, means if you are developing any web application, so what is the goal for developing such kind of web application? So you have to define the goal. So an activity that identify the goals and objective of the web apps and establish the scope of the first increment. Okay, so after first increment, what you have to develop? Okay, so that also you can perform during the formulation activity. Okay, then you have to plan. Okay, so planning estimation, so overall project cost, it evaluate the risk associated with the development efforts, then it define a finely granulated development schedule for the initial web application increment and a more granulated schedule for subsequent increment. Okay, so you are planning for your web application, means what is the actual overall cost for your web application. Then it also evaluate the risk, means which kind of risk can happen for developing such application. Then it also defines some development schedule, means what particular component or what particular feature you are delivering at the first increment. Okay, so at initial level of web application what you are delivering. Okay, and then after in more specification you are scheduling about the subsequent increment. Okay, so this is about the planning. Then analysis establish the technical requirement for the web app and identify the content item that will be incorporated. Okay, so next activity is about analysis. So in analysis, what are the technical requirement for developing web application, that is different. Okay, and also analysis activity identify the content item that will be incorporated. Okay, so what kind of content you are using for developing such web application. Then requirement for graphic design. Okay, it is also defined. Okay, so requirement for graphic design means aesthetic are also defined. Okay, in the analysis establishment. Now another activity is like engineering activity. Okay, so the engineering activity incorporates two parallel tasks. Okay, so in image we have already discussed there are two parallel activities are performing in an engineering task. Okay, so here content design and content production are tasks performed by a non-technical member of the web engineering team, and the intent of this task is to design, produce and or acquire all the text, graphics, audio and video content that are to be integrated into the web application. Okay, so in image you can see that content design and content production. Okay, so this is the activity of non-technical team and this is the activities for the technical team. Okay, so here your engineering activity incorporate two parallel tasks. Okay, so that is content design and content production are tasks performed by the non-technical team, and they are performing like all the text, graphical, audios, videos. Okay, so that is the actual content of your web application. Okay, then after the testing activity. Okay, so web app navigation means all the proper navigation is done or not. Okay, it also attempt to uncover error in script and form. Okay, so whether any part of the page or any component of your web application have some damage or have some error. Okay, so it also identify during the test exercise. Okay, then it also ensure the web app will incorporate correctly in different environment. Okay, for an example, with different browser. Okay, so if I develop any application, so whether that particular application is working in all type of environments, means like Mac OS, Windows operating system, Android operating system, and so on. Okay, so this is about the testing exercise. Okay, and each increment produced as a part of web engineering process. Okay, so each increment produced as a part of web engineering process that review during the customer evaluation. Okay, so next and the last activity of framework for web engineering is a customer evaluation. Okay, so this is the point at which changes are requested. Okay, so if customer will found some error or he or she wants something new in that particular web application, he or she will evaluate that particular application and give a feedback. Okay, so based on the customer evaluation, you have to update your web app. Okay, so this is the point at which changes are requested by the customer. Okay, so these are the actual framework activity of web engineering, starting from foundation, then planning, then analysis, then engineering, testing, and customer evaluation. Okay, so this is about the web engineering concept. Now let's discuss about another topic of today's lecture, that is CASE, means computer aided software engineering, that we have already learned in our previous lecture. Okay, so a CASE means computer aided software engineering tool is a generic term used to denote any form of automated support for software engineering. Okay, so CASE tool means any tool used to automate some activity associated with the software development. Okay, so the primary reason for using such kind of CASE tool are it increase the productivity and it also help to produce a better quality software at a lower cost. Okay, so kind of automated tool that will help in a production of your software product. Okay, so this is about the computer aided software engineering. Now let's discuss about what are the component of CASE. So a component are like design generator, analysis tool, code generator, database generator, prototyping tool, screen and report generator, security and version control, error checking tool, document generator, and drawing tool. Okay, so there is a CASE repository and these all the components are connected with that particular CASE repository. Okay, so here multiple activities can taken place. Okay, so what do you mean by CASE repository? So it is a kind of central component for any CASE tool. Okay, and it is also known as an information repository or data dictionary. Okay, it is also a centralized database. Okay, so it contains all the things in a central way. Okay, and it also allow easy sharing of information between any tools and SDLC activity. Okay, and it used to store graphical diagram and prototype form and report during analysis and design workflow. Okay, so it provides wealth of information to the project manager and allows control over the project, and it also facilitates the reusability of any component. Okay, so this is about the CASE repository. Okay, so it acts as a center, means like a server. It contains all the things related to the different tools. Now the component is like about diagramming tool. Okay, so it allows you to represent a system and its component visually. Okay, so by diagram mode you can show a particular web application page. Okay, so it allows higher level process to be easily decomposed and can examine process or data model at high or low level. Okay, so how particular web page is visible to the customer. Okay, so it allows you to represent a system and its component visually. And then another component is like screen and report generator. Okay, so this particular component is used to create, modify, and test prototype of computer display and reporting. Okay, so it will generate a actual report for your web application. Okay, and it also identify which data item to display or collect from each screen and report. Okay, so if you have developed multiple pages, so from which page you have to collect which information, that is also activity of a screen and report generator component. Okay, then the next is about analysis tool. Okay, so it generate report that help identify possible inconsistency, redundancy, and omission, means which kind of deficiency in your web application. Okay, and generally it mainly focus on a diagram completeness and consistency and data structure and usage. Okay, so this is about the analysis tool. Then the next is case documentation generator tool. Okay, it means here documentation is generated. Okay, so it creates standard report based on the content of repository. Okay, so which content you have to use in your particular web application and which component that you have already used, that is mentioned in a case documentation generator tool. Okay, so need textual description of requirement, then what is the actual solution, what are the diagrams of data and processes, prototype form and reports, program specification and user documentation. Okay, so high quality documentation lead to 80% reduction in system maintenance effort in a comparison to the average quality documentation. Okay, so if you have developed a proper documentation, so it is very easy for any maintenance engineer to maintain the software, and also it is very useful for customer to how to operate the particular software product. Okay, so this is about the case documentation and generator tools. So now let's discuss about classification of case tool. Okay, so there are multiple case tool is available. So business process engineering tool means it represents business data object, their relationship and flow of the data objects between company and business areas. Okay, so which kind of data you have to measure, so according to that you have to adopt any tool. Okay, so business process engineering tool, so if you have to represent a business data object, then you can use this particular tool. Then another tool is like process modeling and management tool. Okay, so it represents a key element of process and provide link to other tool. Okay, so that provides support to define process activities. Then another tool is project planning tool. Okay, so project planning is if you want to do a plan for your web application or for your software, you can use this particular tool. Okay, so used for cost and effort estimation and project scheduling. Then another tool is like risk analysis. Okay, so this particular tool will help a project manager to build a risk table by providing detailed guidance in the identification and analysis of risk. Okay, so if you want to identify some risk in your software product, so you can use this particular tool to identify the risk in your software product. The requirement tracing tool. Okay, so this particular tool provides systematic database like approach to tracking requirement status beginning with specification. Okay, so if customer will give you some requirements, so what is that particular requirement and whether all the requirements are covered in that particular software or not. Okay, so that is about requirement tracing tool. Then another tool is like metrics and management tool. Okay, so management oriented tools capture project specification metrics that provides an overall indication of productivity or quality. Okay, so how particular your software is highly qualified or not. Okay, so that is measured by using a metrics and management tool. Then another tool is like documentation tool. Okay, so if you want to develop a documentation for your software product, then you can use this particular tool. Okay, so it provides opportunity for improved productivity by reducing the amount of time needed to produce work product. Then another tool is like system software tool. Okay, so network system software, object management services and distributed component support and communication software are included in this particular tool. Then quality assurance tool. So whether your software is a good quality software or not, that can be measured by using a quality assurance tool. So metrics tool that audit source code to determine compliance with language standard, or tools that extract metrics to project the quality of a software. Okay, so what is the actual quality of your software, that is measured by this particular tool. Then another tool is like database management tool. Okay, so RDBMS and ODBMS, that means relational database management system and object oriented database management system. Okay, so RDBMS and OODBMS serve as the foundation for the establishment of the case repository. Okay, and the software configuration management tool. Okay, so this particular tool is uses the case repository to assist with all the SCM tasks. Okay, so that is software configuration management task. So it will identify something, then how to perform version control, change control, auditing and status accounting. Okay, so these all the activities are included in a software configuration management tool. And the next tool is about analysis and design tool. Okay, so this particular tool is enable the software engineer to create analysis and design models of the system to be built and perform consistency checking between the model. Okay, then another is integration and testing tool. Okay, so there are multiple like data equation, static measurement, dynamic measurement, test management, all the things are done in a particular tool. Then another is a static analysis tool. So code based testing tool, specialized testing language, requirement based testing tool. Okay, so then all the things are included in this particular tool. Then dynamic analysis tool means intuitive tools. It modify the source code by inserting probes. Okay, so if customer will inquire something new, so you have to adopt the change and you have to modify your system. So intuitive tool modifies source code by inserting probes to check path coverage, assertion and execution flow. And the next tool is about test management. Okay, so it coordinate regression testing, compare actual and expected output, and also conduct batch testing and serve as a generic test drive. Okay, so such kind of activity are performed by using a test management tool. Then another tool is like client server testing tool. Okay, so it exercises the GUI and network communication requirement for the client and server. Okay, so what is the actual network requirement and how that particular GUI is working, that is included in a client server testing tool. And the last is about re-engineering tools. Okay, so reverse engineering to specification tools. Okay, it perform reverse engineering, then it generate analysis and design model from the source code restructuring and analysis tool. It analyze the program syntax, it generate the control program, then it automatically generate a structured program. And online system re-engineering tool is also available and it is used to modify a online DBMS. Okay, so re-engineering concept that we have already learned. If you want to re-engineer something, so you have to perform first reverse engineering, then you have to restructure your code and apply the forward engineering. So at last you will get a re-engineered software. Okay, so these are some tools that is available. So these are some automation tools that are available for the software development process. Okay, so this is about the case tool classification. Now the next topic is about software process improvement. Okay, so if you have to improve your software product for the longer use, so what you have to do, you have to improve your software. Okay, so software improvement means software process improvement methodology is defined as a sequence of tasks, tools and techniques to plan and implement improvement activity to achieve specific goal such as increasing development speed, achieving higher product quality or reducing the cost. Okay, so as per the technology change, as per the environment change, you have to improve your software. Okay, so that is mentioned in a software process improvement. So it is a kind of methodology that define a sequence of tasks, means particular task, tools and techniques to plan and implement improvement activities to achieve some specific goals such as increasing development speed, achieving higher product quality or reducing the cost. Okay, so these kind of things are applied for improving your software. Okay, and there are some process attributes that focus on the concept of process improvement, means understandability, means how your particular software is understandable by the user or by the any person. Okay, then visibility, how particular software is visible to the end user and visible to the other people. Then reliability means whether your software is reliable or not. Supportability, whether your software is support to the all the platform. Then robustness, acceptability, rapidity, maintainability. Okay, so these are some factors that mainly used for improving your software. Okay, so this is about the software process improvement. Now what is the actual SPI model? Okay, so SPI model contains three things, that is change, measure and analyze. Okay, so process improvement is a crucial task activity and involves following stages. So if you have to improve something, so that is a process improvement. Okay, so current project attributes are measured and then it identifies the process that need to be improved. Okay, so if you want to improve something in your software project, what you have to do? You have to identify the current project attributes. Okay, so what is the current attribute in your software project that you have to identify and what particular component or attribute need to be improved. Okay, so current project attributes are measured and then identify the process that needs to be improved. Then another stage is like process analysis. Okay, so that is in a measure. Okay, so in measure you have to measure all the things, means which particular attributes are there and which particular attributes have to be improved. Then next is the analysis, means The identified process is analyzed to obtain the bottlenecks and weaknesses. Okay, so if you want to update something, so what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, what are the drawbacks, weaknesses, all the things are analyzed in a process analyze. Okay, and the last is process change. Okay, so after analysis phase, some process need to get changed. Okay, so in this phase the required changes are incorporated in the process. Okay, so this is particular process model for software improvement. Okay, so first you have to measure the actual attribute and component, means you have to measure your software product. Then you have to analyze which component needs to be changeable and what are the effect for changing that particular software product. And last, you are applying the change, and this particular model is continuously rotated while you are updating something new in your software. Okay, so if you are updating your existing system, then this particular software process improvement model will work. Okay, so this is about the software process improvement model. So that's all for the today's lecture. In today's lecture we have learned about a web engineering concept. We have also learned about case, that is computer aided software engineering, in which we have discussed about various tools. Okay, and also about software process improvement. So that's all for the today's lecture. Here we have completed our series of lecture of software engineering subject. Thank you.